Halo Infinite, massive disappointment, and they're rebranding, apparently. So let's check it out, see what they're doing.
Chris Matthews, take one. Mark.
This is Casey Wu, take one. Mark.
I was told that I can just be my authentic self, Chris.
Well, you can't do that in the games industry.
I don't want to be in front of a camera.
There's so much to do and so much fun to be had when you play Halo that I feel like I never run out of things to do.
I love intricate stories that take place across lots of different worlds, have lots of different meaningful characters.
What made Halo successful
I got
at the beginning? What is the legacy of Halo, and what's the soul that we want to bring forward, and what's the craft of making Halo games, and how do we set our studio at best to go deliver on that?
You rebrand it from 343 to Halo Studio, seemingly, so everybody forgets about the trash that you've been putting out as a studio. I'm amazed they're still able to make them, to be honest. Halo Combat Evolved, first game I ever played at 7 years old. I bet the Flood scared the shit out of you, because they scared me. Also, that's an upbringing, mate.
We had to make a change in order to take us into the future.
When I first heard about
By the way, over 1K in the room.
Unreal Engine, my first thought was, this is going to be a really hard secret to keep.
I think fans are going to be excited about the future of Halo because of the possibilities that are afforded us by using Unreal.
Before,
right, so you're moving to Unreal 5, okay.
And thinking about building an engine, supporting it, being really kind of a tech company and a studio at the same time.
No, they wouldn't be stupid enough to put any PS5 controllers behind them in there. Just looking around, okay. Just change an engine, we're going multi-format here.
UE, we can bring Halo forward in ways that people have never seen before while still being true to what Halo is.
The Foundry project was an effort to show ourselves how far we can push things using Unreal 5.
New studio art director, Chris, came to me and said, hey, I have this crazy idea.
He said, hey, there's this thing called Project Foundry that I want to do. Let's make it happen.
Foundry specifically is based around the same concept of the Foundry in Halo lore. It's the place where Halo rings are born.
Okay, come on, the Brit, sorting shit out. That's what we love. You were browsing Eurogamer earlier and stumbled across my Call of Duty World War II review. That was, one of the last reviews. Oh, that might be the last review I did for Eurogamer, actually.
It's not a game, it's a research project for our studio so we can prepare ourselves for the next steps of making Halo games.
Honestly, it might just be the accent. Maybe I'm a sucker for an English accent as well. But you, honestly, mate, Chris, whatever your surname is, sound like the first person who actually, one, gives a shit, and two, I believe, talking about this franchise in years. Actually, shout out to the guy who headed up the multiplayer team for Halo Infinite. He was also one of the lead, I think he was the director of the Saboteur, and I met him in France many years ago on a trip for the Saboteur. Him too, but yeah, I believe this guy.
Thanks.
Okay. Listen, that looks fucking great. That looks great. But, I mean, Halo Infinite didn't look bad to me.
The original Halo franchise was a graphics showcase. It was best in class.
Yeah,
that's what Halo was when it first was released, and that's what Halo needs to be again.
Yeah. It was a fucking gameplay showcase. It was a gameplay show. Yeah, it was a graphical showcase in original Xbox, like, it was. But I think there was like high-end stuff on PC that was probably another level above it. But it was a gameplay showcase. It was a setting showcase. That first time where you approach the planet, the ring planet, and you have those interactions with the enemies, the interactions with the grunts, and the AI, which is still best in class. Still best in class, all of these years later. That was when I felt like I was playing something that I would truly never seen the likes of before, and nothing else had even come close. There was Half-Life, which was his own thing, which is amazing as well, but it didn't operate on that sort of scale. So yes, it is a graphical showcase, but it was... I'm just worried. Do you know what? I kind of given up on Halo. My love. Halo was my love for a long time, and I kind of given up on it. And so can you fix it? Can you sort it out? I don't believe you.
So once Project Foundry had been approved, we took
multiplayer Halo Infinite is good.
And we ideated on 3 locations, something old, something new, and something really alien.
We had the Pacific Northwest, which is sort of traditional Halo biome.
We were trying to shove
as much foliage in there as humanly possible to make it really feel like you're on a hike in the, Cascades.
The Cold Lands, which was the second biome that we took on, it was more of a technical showcase where we could play with shaders, we could play with deformable landscapes and terrains. Unreal affords us more opportunity than we've ever had in the past.
On the surface, it might just look all like snow, but how many layers of things combine to really give that winter look?
I don't care.
And then our third biome was the Blightlands, which is any land that's been completely taken over by the flood.
I wanted to give our team the opportunity to really express an alien world, a really alien world, taking something way further than they may have actually done in previous Halo games.
What's impressed me about watching the Halo team work in Unreal is how beautiful everything looks, how incredible the environments look. I don't think we've seen anything quite like it in Unreal Engine before.
Fortunately, we have a studio that's really passionate about Halo, about the look and the feel, and
that guy, bro, that looks like a fucking game developer. That looks like a game developer. I've met many, many, many over the years, and that's what they look like. It doesn't. You can switch race, gender. It doesn't matter. But they all have that same look behind their eyes of they've worked far, far, far too hard for far too long.
Look and the feel, and I think there's a lot of hunger to really collaborate, to move forward together.
Foundry was an initiative that touched on every part of the creative process, everything from concept art, VFX, characters, vehicles, and weapons to make the future games of Halo.
Creating an asset, taking this design, now we can really dig into material foundations. What is it actually made of? How is it physically
Okay,
active?
I mean, listen, I understand they're talking about Unreal 5, so they're going to go into detail a little bit about the graphics and whatnot, but dude, the first game was built on the 30 seconds of fun. That thing was the cliche that was brought out, the loop of that 30 seconds of fun, and they've not really, they haven't then been massively far off in the games that they've made themselves, but there are moments in Infinite where it felt like it was capturing that, but it was something missing. And I don't know if they'll ever be able to capture it because it was made by a different studio.
Now we get to take all the
maybe
wonderful legacy assets that we have, bring them to life, and bring them to today's standards.
The visuals were not the issue with Halo Infinite though, right?
We are really excited to be not just working on
to think of the file size of the finished game, right? I know, right?
As a lifelong Halo player, I think the game's only going to get better when we get those new, unique perspectives and people bring in their expertise and passion for the Halo franchise.
We are looking for new talent as the projects that we're working on kind of get further and further into their development.
If you want to work on Halo, now's the time, guys.
Part of a team that's growing because you can kind of see that force multiplied as people come in and take on challenges, and you can do more.
No, I don't. This is why I only believe the English guy, because it's not. It's not good to be working on a team where loads and loads of new people keep coming in all the time. It's not. It's against human nature to feel like that. You're like, who are all these people? They're going to take my job. Like, it's not. And I can tell because I don't believe the fucking words that he said. He's lead game designer, so maybe if he's hiring them.
Part of a team that's growing because you can kind of see that force multiplied as people come in and take on challenges, and you can do more.
Imagine a place where you have the commitment that this is what we want to do, Halo games, and create those experiences. And you can express your talent, your creativity, and your professional ambitions in that place.
We're looking for designers,
I like his t-shirt.
We're looking for artists, we're looking for engineers.
It feels like a new beginning for the studio in a lot of ways.
Is that because everyone else fucked off? I mean, or did you get rid of them? I mean, good, I guess, but I don't know. I will reserve judgment, but...
And I think that's pretty rare.
And I think we arrived now at a point where you see the beginnings of people to start to believe in the process.
There's so much momentum that we have right now, and focus and clarity on not just...
Point where you see the beginnings of people to start to believe in the process.
I mean, that sounded cold, and I was like, yeah, and then I thought, hold on. You fuckers have made 3 games. You can change the name of the studio. What do you mean believe in the process? Like, was it that dead there in the studio after Infinite? Damn. Really? Start to believe in the process?
There's so much momentum that we have right now, and focus and clarity on not just what we're building, but why we're building, and kind of this next phase of Halo.
The worlds that we're building, the stories that we're going after.
The potential.
Motherfuckers! It's the gameplay, dude. Like, you have to understand that. Now, there are so many people working in here, sitting there fucking 2 or 3 screens, like, with his fucking energy drinks next to him, trying their absolute best to nail the gameplay. So, it's not that I don't believe that they care about it, but if 2 things. 1, the messaging that's coming out from games in general right now, especially Western games, really confused about what makes games great. Worlds, a bit. Story, I mean, it can do. Mechanics, gameplay, experience. That's what it's always been. You go and listen, Nintendo have got their own problems, right? But if you go and watch one of their directs, now the way that they do it's kind of boring, but they'll just start talking about one of their new games, and all they talk about mechanics. You can do this, and then we'll do this, and this, and this, and this. And it's like they get to the point where they're waffling, but they get it. And that's why their games are still fucking amazing. And I feel like Western studios have just completely lost sight of that. Completely. So I'm concerned because not one person in nearly 6 minutes has mentioned gameplay.
At Halo right now is huge.
Halo Infinite was the last remnants of how we made Halo games in the past. That was our recipe. And what we're doing right now, we're changing that recipe. And what we're doing right now, we're changing that recipe.
Why did that look so shit? Everything else looked good. That looked rubbish. What was that animation?
And what we're doing right now, we're changing that recipe.
I mean, it is actually the sword slash animation at the end, so, you know, fair enough, but... Well, listen, Halo Studios, you rebranded. I'll reserve judgment until we see more. I'll reserve judgment until I play it, obviously, which sounds like it's going to be years away. From what I understand, they're working on multiple projects at the moment. I don't know if they're going to remaster a Reach or something. That'd be cool. But I have kind of given up. I have given up on Halo, so we'll see.